Soundstripe.
This book is, oh my gosh, I feel like it captures summer perfectly. It's the perfect summer book. It's a little spicy. There's a little, and I wouldn't even call it like enemies to lovers, but it's more kind of like strangers to lovers kind of
Mhm.
scenario. So before we dive into that, I know you probably have answered this question a million times, but for our readers who may not be aware, you two are best friends who have this amazing romance novel empire. How in the world did you two meet?
Empire. I love it.
So we met in 2009. So I'm Christina. Hello.
Hi, Lauren.
2009, we were both writing and like writing fan fiction and reading each other's stories online. And then Lo was putting on a panel at San Diego Comic-Con on FanWorks, and she invited me to be on it. So I came out and we met for the first time, and we just like got along really well. That in fandom, we write these things called one shots, which is just basically a short story. And so we were like, hey, do you want to write a one shot together? So we wrote this one shot together, and it was just a lot of fun. And then we just like very naively were like, do you want to write a book together? Like that was just the next logical step. And so we wrote a kind of depressing, terrible book. And as soon as we started a depressing, terrible book. And then as soon as we realized no, we don't have to be serious. We have to write what it is that we want to read. And so as soon as we landed on an idea that was like swoony and had like skinny dipping and kissing and all of these things, we finished a book. It took us about a year to finish it, about a year to get an agent, about a year to sell. And here we are. This is our 30th published book.
Oh my gosh. And that is amazing. Like the fact that, and I actually have come across several of your titles and I just never put two and two together. I literally looked at the name and I was like, oh, this is one person. I love that. Christina Lauren is easy to remember. And when I discovered you two are best friends, I was like, see, the bestie trope continues. Like,
It's such a good
can't
compliment,
beat
though.
it.
It's really such a compliment because honestly, like that's what we want. We want it to feel like it was written by one voice, and so we spend a lot of time editing to make sure that it doesn't feel like there are two very distinct combative voices in there. So yeah, I love it. I mean, every day we get DMs that are like, I didn't know too. So
And so, how would you say writing fan fiction prepares you all for what you're doing now?
I think fandom is a great place to learn to write. Because the internet will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
They don't mince words. They'll tell you what you're doing right. They'll tell you what you're doing wrong. And so you can sort of learn in an anonymous way, where the quotation marks go and whether is, correct grammatical structure and how to pace a story. So I think, not only can you learn the technical side of it, but you also learn the sort of emotional side of it, which is to not be too delicate about feedback, not to get, into battles online, kind of how to behave and comport yourself when you are on the internet. And, you learn a lot about how negative reviews feel and what you can and cannot do when you get one. And, we have a little bit of extra distance because we're Christina Lauren. We're not Lauren Billings and Christina Hobbs. We are writing as Christina Lauren. So it's almost like this separate entity that protects us. It insulates us a little bit. So none of the feedback is ever personal against us, right? And I think fandom teaches you kind of how to take that sort of feedback and just not,
Fall apart.
not fall apart.
And that's amazing. Like you pretty much answered my next question, as far as like, did you feel like it was difficult to switch from, or not switch, but kind of ease into writing novels from fan fiction? So thank you for answering that question for me.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing was feeling like if we were going to be an author, we had to be like super serious, and then realizing that like that's not who we are. And so as soon as we just like let ourselves be who we are, the rest of it came naturally.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love that. And so you have well over 10 best-selling books, as Christina Lauren, and I'm positive this is about to become your next best-selling novel because it's so good. What elements of your books do you feel like your readers are most drawn to?
So I think like one of the things is the characters. They like love characters that they either want to be or want to be friends with, or like heroes that they want for their own. A lot of the settings, a lot of the like sometimes people are like, oh, what's your trope catnip? And some people love enemies to lovers, some people love second chance, some people love brother's best friend. And the great thing about having a large catalog of books is there's just sort of something for everybody. Like, you like funny books, we got you. You want super saucy books, we got you. You want something that's gonna rip your heart out, we got that too. And so I also think there's like a level of like really good friendships in our books because
Found family.
found family because we sort of mirrored, like what we have with each other and sort of our publishing team and that stuff. But then also we really, really love competence porn when somebody is really good at something. And I think we tend to have a lot of that and a lot of sort of just like joy and escapism.
Mhm.
That was a lot of things.
But it covers like the gamut, and I feel like that you can find all of this in the Paradise Problem. So, and it's so hard because I could sit here and talk about Anna and Lim, which I want to call him West. So I can
Okay.
talk about the both of them all day long because I think when you're first introducing them, it's like, wait, you guys didn't know each other. You're in this situation, and then it kind of spirals into something else that even Anna wasn't aware of, which I love her. I love her.
Yay.
Yes. Character, and I feel like soon as people see her on the page, they're gonna be like, oh, I can see myself in her, and that's what I absolutely loved about her. And then Wes is a little bit more layered. So when you were coming up with their characters and their backgrounds, like what was that process like?
So we knew who he was pretty much right off the bat. We knew that he was the grandson of a grocery store, founder and the heir to this giant fortune, but that he had really some distance between him and his father. We kind of had to figure out what that drama was between Ray and West. But then we always try and think about who is the perfect person for each other and the characters, not who will complete them, but who is the perfect match for them. And Anna, she is very different. She does not come from a wealthy background. She's not super polished. When we meet her at the beginning of the book, she's just lost her job at a gas station, like convenience store. She is worried about how she's going to pay her bills. From the outside, she is a mess. But when you look inside her, she's very grounded and centered. And I think for me, that's very aspirational. When we write female characters who know who they are and they don't waver from that and they are just good to their bones, I think, she is such a foundational pillar for West. Once he finds her, he needs that so much. He needs that sort of moral compass. He needs to know that people can be good and loving. He's never really had that. And so I think for us creating them, it was one of the most satisfying relationships to write because they do need each other and they complement each other so perfectly.
Mhm. And I think that is probably what I was feeling when I was reading the stories. Like, okay, well, both of them, just seem like I wouldn't say, and it wasn't an immediate, like, oh my God, I'm head over heels in love with you, because I
Right.
kind of almost feel like that's not everybody's story in real
Mhm.
life or just, in pop culture. So I immediately gravitated towards the fact that, oh, they have to learn who they are. And once they start
Mhm.
learning more about each other, it's like, oh, there's more to you. Oh, okay, then I am actually attracted to you, which I'm not, like I said, I would want to talk about it so bad, but there's some spiciness in there that I think everybody will love. I know Book Talk is going to eat it up. Gonna eat it up so much, which speaking of Book Talk, they are so in love with all of your books. And that to me is just a testament to what you all have been doing. So, what is your favorite part about coming across, things that you've seen on Book Talk regarding your books? Is it like the people coming up with their own depictions of what they think your characters will look like? And oh, here are your characters later after the story has ended. I don't know if anyone has like kind of written any fan fiction based on your books or done their own illustration of characters.
Oh yeah, I mean, uh, when we obviously we love fan fiction. So when people are asking us like, is there going to be a part 2 of something? We're like, write it.
Yeah.
Write some
If
fan
you want
fiction.
more, go write it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we love when readers do art. Like nothing makes us happier. But like nothing makes me want to buy a book more than when somebody loves it and like will not shut up and just like shoves it in my face.
Yeah.
And that's why Book Talk works so well, is because it's just people who like love something. I mean, like Lo and I are like fangirls to our very core, and there is just nothing more amazing than people who love something so much they just cannot shut up about it. I mean, because we are like that all the time about stuff. And so I think that's what I love. It's like a platform of readers for readers, just talking about the things that they love. And so it has been just amazing to have this thing that sort of, there's no way to pick what Book Talk is going to like. There's like no way of sort of gaming it. And that's sort of the magic of it. Do you know what I mean? Is it's just them doing it for each other.
For the love of it.
Yeah.
I'm always so impressed with how funny
Oh my God.
content creators are. I mean, people are so creative and so funny. And I just, we all have our different skills. Christina and I love writing books, but like I would not be good at making a hilarious TikTok. So I think for me, like when I see somebody who is just so clever and witty and just hilarious, I'm really impressed. Those are my favorites.
There was this one for On Honeymooners where basically she just is like sitting in the car explaining about like her sister getting married and this guy is her nemesis, but then everybody got sick and now she has to go on this trip with him. And she's basically describing the On Honeymooners, that she had sucked everybody in to think that it was actually her story. Then at the end, she's like, and if you like this, you should read The On Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. And I was like, that's so smart.
I know.
Oh my gosh, that is so great. And like I said, BookTok has influenced a lot of my purchases lately. So just coming across your other titles, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go back and get so many other books from you all. But like, I can't wait to see how everybody, like, I'm literally gonna get off of here and go to TikTok. Has anybody else read The Paradise Problem? Just love everything about that. I'm so excited for you all with this book. And then I know you also have another book coming out next month, Tangled Up in You, which is a part of another series. So I probably will be harassing Kristen again, like, hey. So we'll get into that, but also kind of want to do like this rapid fire question, just so our readers can get to know a little bit more about you and just kind of make it fun. So because I went down a little rabbit hole, please don't kill me. But the first question is, do you prefer Twilight books or the movies?
I mean, they're totally different things.
I like the movies actually.
I mean, because it's funny when Lo and I saw the I think this is supposed to be rapid fire, but Lo and I saw the premiere. We were at the like premiere in LA for Breaking Dawn, and when they ripped Carlisle's head off, and spoiler alert, I guess. And we literally had this moment where we looked at each other like, does that happen? Because
we
there's
read so much
fic. There's like book fic, like book canon, movie canon, fic canon, So I think, I mean, they're just so totally different things. The book has such like nostalgia for me, and I'm so like protective and thankful to Stephanie Meyer for creating this, allowing us to have this fangirl space where we all just got to like love this thing so much. So I'm gonna say book.
That was a lot of angst.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So next, do you prefer like an enemies to lover story or kind of like a high school sweethearts or former high school sweetheart story?
Oh man, I love both, but I'm gonna say former high school sweethearts because I know what she's gonna say.
I'm gonna say enemies to lovers because it's easy to be funny when you can be a little mean.
I agree. And oh gosh, this one's a little bit left field, but when it comes down to social media platforms, because they're always changing, do you prefer using Instagram or X to connect with readers?
Instagram.
Instagram.
I think we all have like a platform that feels comfortable with us, and that's ours.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And because Paradise Problem features a little bit, well, it's not a little bit, it features some spiciness. We're just gonna say it features some spiciness. I want to know, Rate your preferred level of spiciness, whether it's books, foods,
Ooh, that's good.
movies, whatever the case may be, from 1 to 5. Like, how much spice do you like in your life? With 5 being like the spiciest. So, do you like, oh, just a little bit, like 2 or 3, or do you like, give me all the spice that's out there?
I think for movies, I'm gonna say 2. For books, I'm gonna say 3 to 4, and for food, I'm gonna say 4.
For food, I want it to be 5 because I like love hot food and it does not love me. So I'll say 3. For movies, so I'm gonna say movies and books are almost the same thing because somebody can do something really sexy and I love it, and then somebody can do something that's like alludes to it being super sexy and like it's almost sexier than if something happened. So I'm gonna go right down the middle and say 3. I have no concise answers today.
I love it. Look, I want you to be as honest as possible. I mean, I feel like that's the best way to be. And I love when authors are excited and they answer truthfully. That makes it more fun to me. So, and also, I have to say, I love spicy food, but now that I'm a little older, I don't know. I
Yeah,
developed some things in my body. It's like, yeah, I can't do it. So,
it's harder to tolerate now, yeah.
so much stuff that you can do when you're younger. Like, you just eat
Yeah.
all these weird concoctions, and so. Last thing, and I know I'm saying like one thing, but you can answer however you want to. So, what's your favorite thing about working with your best friend?
My gosh.
That's hard. There's so many. Okay, we got
Um,
to think of one. I mean, I think just having somebody who always knows understands emotionally where I am, like with, professionally, like with any given moment, like I can call her and talk to her about it. She knows exactly what I'm stressed about and she has an answer, or she can relate or whatever. It's just so reassuring to have that full trust.
yeah, I would that. Also like Lo is everybody's biggest cheerleader and just
Soundstripe.